welcome to Let's Chat. I'm your host, Cynthia Stone, and today we have a blockbuster session planned for you guys. Now, this is all about transformation, empowerment, embracing your power within, and reaching new heights. Now, our two guests confirmed are Catherine Varga, who is the founder of the Sound Reiki Institute, and we have JP Pampina, who is the PR and Associates Inc. President and founder as well. Now, this is going to promise to be a great episode you don't want to miss. We have all types of suggestions on how to help you really lift out of any kind of a rut you might be in. Now, the two people that we are interviewing today have themselves had a journey from struggle to surpassing it. Now, they are going to be giving great advice on how you can lift your spirits and help yourself and help others in the process. Thank you for watching. As always, I am your host, Cynthia Stone, with a background in energy work, social work, community work, addictions counseling, and the list goes on. We are happy to embrace diversity here and really welcome all people from all walks of life. Stay tuned, more to come.
Hi, my name's Dr. Gary Block. I'm a family physician and co-chair of the Ontario College of Family Physicians Poverty and Health Committee.
And I'm Dr. Ritika Goel, co-chair of the Poverty and Health Committee with Dr. Block. We are passionate about social determinants of health and connecting patients to key resources that can help them. As healthcare providers, we know our patients' or clients' health is better when they have a strong circle of social support, adequate housing, reliable supply of food, and decent wages. However, the reality is many people live in poverty, and we are not equipped to deal with these challenges. We're always pressed for time, and as much as we want to help our patients address these other social needs, we might not know what is available in our communities and who to refer patients to for these services. We want to find solutions, but we struggle to navigate the system ourselves, and we're a part of it.
What if we had a tool at our fingertips to help find free or low-cost meals, food banks, home-delivered meals, breakfast programs, or donated baby food for people? Or, if someone is experiencing financial challenges, having a way to search for emergency or government assistance, tax clinics, eviction prevention programs, help filling out forms, or agencies providing help in lieu of money like home maintenance help. We do. Just call 211. 211 is an information and referral helpline supported by the most comprehensive databases of human and social services in Canada that can provide referrals in over 100 languages. 211 can help us find programs in our communities and has the details we need most: eligibility, the referral process, whether it's free or has reduced fees for those who can't afford it, hours of operation, and more.
The database can also be searched online, and a health provider can print a list of resources to help a patient. The greatest benefit is that no matter the challenge, 211 can empower us and our patients to navigate the services that exist, to address the social issues that have a negative impact on a person's health. 211 gives us access to experts on social and community services 24 hours a day, every day of the year, in over 100 languages. In addition, 211 will offer to follow up with callers who may need more support accessing a program. As healthcare practitioners, it is important to us that we trust the service we're using and referring patients to. 211 call centers are accredited, and 211 helpline specialists are professionally trained and often have social work backgrounds.
211 phone service and the online database of services is currently available province-wide in Ontario and Nova Scotia. 211 is also available in BC's Lower Mainland, Calgary and Edmonton and surrounding areas in Alberta, Quebec City area, and Laval. 211 online services are available in Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, and Nunavut. The goal is to grow 211 so that everyone in Canada benefits. Caring for patients is becoming more complex, and frontline health professionals are taking on a bigger role in treating the whole person. 211 is a valuable resource that can save you time and frustration when you don't know where to turn. Call 211 today and spend a few minutes talking to our team so that you know what 211 can do before you have a patient in crisis. Or go online at 211.ca to find your local 211 service and learn more about how 211 expands the circle of care for your patients.
Welcome back to Let's Chat. Now I have with us here Catherine Varga. Catherine, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege.
Awesome. So now you have quite a wonderful background. I mean, you've been very busy.
Yes.
So there is the Sound Reiki Institute, which you're the founder of.
Yes.
There's also Soul Child.
Yes.
And you come from a corporate background.
Indeed I do. It's kind of an unusual combination. I first started in the energy work that I'm doing. I'm a vibrational sound healer. And I was not doing that, I would say, over 20 years ago. I never thought that I would be doing that. I started off in a corporate career. I actually was a recruiter, and I had a very successful company for about 23 years. And I thought, well, I need to make my way in the material world, even though I felt like I was a spiritual person. So I did that, and I was able to combine my intuition that I wasn't really aware that I had, only in the respect of matching people in their jobs and trying to help people. I had a way of tapping into what was needed by them, and I was able to eventually turn that into a healing practice. So this is a real message for everybody that I did not start off as a healer, you know, knowing something interesting happened to me at 5 years old, like so many of them have. But for me, I did have a miracle that happened to me when I was 15 years old that indicated to me that there was something special that I needed to do that was bigger than me. I ended up, when I was 15, jumping the fence over a neighbor's. They allowed us to go and swim in a pool. So one summer day I jumped in and I was swimming and I decided to get out. And before I got out, I started to get very tired. I found myself diving, and when I was coming up from the dive, I didn't have enough air in my lungs to come to the surface. And I was really actually not concerned about that. I realized that my body was asking me to breathe in, and I did, 4 feet underwater.
Wow.
And I was able to take in a cool, clean air. I don't know how, I was 15, but I never forgot it. And from that moment on, I felt like there was something really important I needed to do with my life, and it had to do with helping people. So it was natural by the time I got into my 20s to open a practice that helped people help themselves, to find jobs and to find ways of exploring their talents and gifts in that way. And then in 2006, when we were going through a recession in our country, I started to make some changes about doing something different. I met a teacher, like all of us do. You know, when the student is ready, the teacher is coming.
Absolutely. They say that.
They do, and it's true.
Yeah.
I think that when you're open and you're accepting, especially of the unknown, it really allows things to be in flow and come towards you.
It's true. They do say that your mind should be like a parachute. It only works when it's open, right?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is what we would call allowing. And allowing is the absence of doubt. And doubt is created through limiting beliefs. And through my practice, I found different ways of helping people with that doubt, helping people with that limiting belief, starting with myself. I think of all healers, our first client is ourselves.
True.
Because I was always told you can't heal anything in anyone else that you haven't healed in yourself.
You really need to be that change.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that kind of sends the ripple effects to everyone.
It does, because you know we all can relate to each other that way. You know, in a safe place, to know that somebody, excuse me, is able to understand you, and somebody can relate to you no matter what you've gone through. And I think that having worked with so many different people in so many stressful situations, I mean, to look for a job, everybody knows that's not the easiest and sometimes not the funnest highlight of your life. But when we can start to look at things differently, which is what transformation is really about. It's really about, I'm tired with the way things are going.
Yeah.
I've accepted it's not working for me, and I'm open and allowing new things to come into my life and do things differently. Because the one thing, if nothing else, you're convinced of, it's not working for you right now. And since you are the center of your universe, the only way we can make change is to feel safe, love ourselves, and remind ourselves that we are good enough. So no matter what happens, you can change anything that happens to you. Look at with my situation, I started
What is your
off
situation?
as a corporate person,
Yeah.
and now I'm a vibrational sound healing expert.
That's right.
I created, along with my colleague, Heather Hannon of the Sound Reiki Institute, a modality called Sound Reiki. And the unique thing about Sound Reiki is that you heal with your voice. So there's no instruments. A lot of people think that sound is very based on not the voice, but instruments like crystal bowls or drumming and things like that. And they are equally powerful. They are absolutely wonderful, wonderful forms of healing and energy, and expression of energy. But what I have found is that there is nothing more powerful than the sound of your own voice. And I think that when you are able to hear your voice, and I do not have any training in singing, I do not have any training in any kind of voice. I'm just like everybody else. I just love the sound of sounds. I love the sound of singing. Even though I may not be a recording artist, it's okay. Because you know what? There is no bad notes, okay? All of them are healing. And it has a lot to do with the prayer of intention that is spoken during a healing session. And that calibrates the sound that I sing when I'm with my clients. So Sound Reiki is really about focusing on vibrational frequency, because science is now starting to prove that the level that we vibrate at is directly proportionate to how we feel. And in my world, there's two kinds of energy, positive and negative. We have high vibration and low vibration.
So what you're saying is how you feel inside is what manifests outside, and that's
Exactly right. What happens is we've heard this, you may have heard of the movie called The Secret a long time ago.
Yes,
And they
yeah.
made famous the law of attraction.
Yeah.
And the law of attraction was no secret, but it was certainly huge to have it presented in such a powerful way.
True.
But the one thing about the law of attraction that is equal to all of us is that it is important to have positive thoughts that align a positive vibrational frequency. But that positive vibrational frequency is calibrated to how you feel about those thoughts. So when you want to increase your vibrational frequency, which is the vibration, for example, of love, of happiness, of positive thinking, of compassion, of empathy, when we use those feelings and those ideas as part of our everyday way of being and part of our personal philosophies of life, and how we look at ourselves, how we look at people, and how also, the true test, how we deal with challenges.
Yes.
And who are we in those challenges. So Sound Reiki is a healing modality that uses the voice along with prayers of intention to calibrate the sound that activates sound and light codes that we are all naturally programmed to receive and that we have within us. So when you hear a tone, for example, when you hear a piece of beautiful music,
Yes.
it touches you. It touches your heart. It makes you bigger for that moment than you may feel that you really are.
Wow.
And you're right. It's because you've expanded your vibrational frequency. It's because you are now at a high vibrational frequency. And that's what makes a difference. So what we strive to do when we are in transformation, what we strive to do is to maintain a high vibrational frequency through positive affirmations or positive beliefs, more importantly. Because again, affirmations are wonderful things.
What kinds of affirmations do you recommend for our viewers?
Well, I would say it's something that you can believe in. For example, I am a limitless being. I am happy. I am joy. And I bring that every single day to every situation. Now that affirmation is a really beautiful affirmation.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean anything unless I feel it, unless I believe it with my heart that what I've said is true. That will start to change my vibrational frequency and make it higher. Why is that important? Well, when I resonate to a high vibrational frequency, or you do, or anybody else does, you are absolutely magnetic. Because in the world of energy, like attracts like. If I held a magnet in my hand right now and held it up, it would be attracting positive and negative energy. That's what happens in the physical world. But if I held up a spiritual magnet, only positive would be attracted, not negative. In the world of energy, positive and negative can't hold the same vibration. You either have light or you have darkness. Just like when you go into a cave, for example. If you go into a dark cave and you have a flashlight, when you shine the light in that dark cave, what happens to that dark light? It moves away.
That's right.
It moves away from the stronger high vibration light energy that you're shining.
So you're able to increase people's light so that the darkness dissipates.
Yes, and the darkness would be a negative vibration. In my world, there's only two kinds of energy, positive and negative. And so we want to move away from the negative energy, the negative feelings, the negative emotions like depression and low self-esteem and sadness. And where we're able to identify what's blocking our vibration based on how we're thinking and feeling, maybe about something from the past, then we're able to release that through sound Reiki as we intuitively see different blocks in people's energy and are able to move them from the sound of the voice.
So speaking of this, I mean, beautiful. And I'm sure you've helped so many countless people. I mean, looking at the website, and we will have to put that out there so you can check it out. I mean, amazing testimonials. Now, what are some highlights from your career? People that you've helped?
You know what? I think one of the most things that I think made me drop down to my knees and cry is I was at a show called the Vitality Show, and I had a gentleman come over to me, and it turns out he was a filmmaker from Russia.
Wow.
And he came up to me and said to me, "I know you can help my son." And I thought, wow, I haven't really worked with a lot of children, but I'm happy to if you think that's the case. And he says, my son has autism, and my son is 7 years old, and he has not been able to speak for the entire time that he has been here. And he said, I think that you can help him. And I thought, my goodness, you know, I'm so grateful for him to feel that way, so it must be true. Otherwise, this wouldn't be happening. Because in the world, the world is an ordered universe, so nothing happens randomly.
And you put out your vibe and you attract your tribe. And it sounds like he gravitated towards you. He knew.
He did. And within about an hour and a half, I would say less than an hour, I have never met this young man, and he ended up hugging me, which apparently was extraordinary, as I had not a lot of experience with children with autism coming for a healing session. And I was so deeply touched that he came up and hugged me. And then we started to do toning, and he was sitting still listening to the tones that were coming from my voice. And they left. He hugged me again. He chose a crystal that I had on a crystal a table, and he chose a beautiful jasper heart on his own. He held it up. He loved it. And his father called me 2 weeks later and said that he was singing and talking for the first time in his life.
Wow.
So I'm not going to cry now, but
I might. Just saying, I'm already moved to tears here.
I have to say,
that's beautiful.
You know, sound transcends. That proved to me that sound transcends anything.
Absolutely.
And I know that, you know, Edgar Cayce said that sound was the medicine of the future, and I have to agree. It was one of the most touching moments I've ever had. When my father had cancer, I was really very upset. I had not lost anybody in my life so far, and I feel very grateful for that. And when he had an extraordinary cancer that nobody could identify and nobody had ever had in the world, we were really scared. But he was open, as a former atheist, he was open to healing, and he was open to considering all possibilities with all sincerity. My father went through 5 operations, 2 of which they said he was not supposed to be living, and that was 10 years ago. And he has survived and thrived And he is still a mystery, and
Wow.
I'm okay with that, so long as we still have him. And so
Absolutely.
those were some of the extraordinary things. And
yeah.
working with my colleague,
Yeah.
you know, my sister from another mister, who's a dear friend who had breast cancer,
Yeah.
and we saw the tie into low self-esteem. You know, we saw the link into how she was feeling about herself, because
Wow.
breasts are nurturing and nourishing. And we found that the cancer landed there because of a strong low sense of self-esteem and low
Wow.
self-worth, which we have then since identified in so many other people who have the same kind of symptoms. And what we were able to do is, through a process of forgiveness, through a process of going into why she was feeling the way she was feeling. And believe me, she's not alone. Me too, everybody that I've talked to has a real issue about self-esteem and being good enough. I think that's probably the biggest challenge for most people, to believe that they are good enough, and to change their programming from childhood, or with somebody they perhaps had respected said what they were that wasn't true.
So how do you transcend years of self-loathing, low self-esteem, not feeling good enough? What would be your advice on how someone can lift out of that?
Yeah, and I'll share that, absolutely. What I did as a result of Sound Reiki and being able to work with people on a multidimensional level and to get into a soul level healing, all of a sudden I was gifted by Source this concept called soul child. And I found that there was a soul child that is part of our soul that is activated when we're growing up. When we experience trauma, and trauma is any experience that shatters our sense of safety and security. When that memory of that trauma is part of our makeup and our system, same with Sound Reiki, we're able to get to the root through intuitive meditation. I can, before a client comes and sees me, I will take a look and see, with this technique called the Soul Child Within, the Soul Child Alignment Method, what year is affecting them, that a trauma had happened that created a limiting belief that they are acting on right now, that on some level they're conscious of not working for them right now. And so what we do is we go back, and within an hour, through the intuitive process, we're able to get to a place of forgiveness, of thinking even for a moment that that was ever true about ourselves, and also forgiving the people that were involved, knowing that they too came from a place of pain and sorrow. So when we can do that and get to a place of forgiveness on our own or through some assistance, we transform the way we think and feel. It gets released. Then, on top of that, when you hear a tone of forgiveness or a prayer of intention that is aligning that missing piece of you back into that place, then all of a sudden it makes it a lot easier for a person to not feel that way anymore, because that fear or that low self-esteem doesn't exist anymore because of the replacement of self-love. And believe it or not, I believe that sound is the fastest way to move energy. So when we move energy with sound, what normally takes years of therapy to heal can happen in a matter of hours.
That's amazing. And on that note, I mean, truly, this is something that can lift people out of their current state. Now, you have these sessions. How can people reach out to you?
Absolutely. There's vibrational healing sessions, so if we want to take out the blocks from what's moving you, stopping you from moving forward, we have that, and the Soul Child. So it's a matter of contacting me at Catherine@soundreiki.com and letting me know what is it that we can do to help you increase your vibrational frequency, find out what's blocking you from moving forward in your life, and providing solutions for you to be who you really are and what you're meant to do.
And this is all about embracing your true potential and moving forward. They say that fear stands for face everything and rise, and it seems like this is a fabulous way to do it. I mean, I myself, this resonates with me and a lot of our viewers out there. If you feel stuck, if you feel trapped, if you feel like you're in over your head, this is one way that you can definitely reach those new plateaus. So what is next for you, Catherine?
The next is I have been working for the last 10 years with the Soul Child Alignment Method with Sound Reiki, and I'm now going to be launching my first book called The Soul Child Within, and that is going to be sharing this with everybody to help them to be able to heal themselves as well. So the Soul Child Within will be available at the end of March, the beginning of April, and it'll be available to everybody, as well as some workshops that I'm doing on March 18th at Joshua Creek Creative Arts Center in Oakville. And we'd love for you to join us on March 18th to join us for the Soul Child Connection, which is a speak and a workshop that will help you get closer to the child within.
Find your voice and check her out. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back shortly after these messages.
Thank you.
How do you connect with over 60,000 community and social services across Ontario? It's simple. Call 211. Meet John and his family. They're new to the community, but they need help. Are they making the right call? For life-threatening emergencies, of course, John would call 911. From anywhere in Ontario, call 211 when you don't know where to turn. For things like home care support, mental health, employment services, community programs, housing and income supports, and so much more. 211. Finding help is easy when you make the right call.
And welcome back. Now that was Catherine. Wasn't she fabulous? I mean, I'm definitely inspired. Energetically, I mean, she is a vessel of information, a beautiful energy spirit emoting from her. I'm sure you could feel it over there. You put out your vibe and you get that tribe on. So we are so delighted to have not only her on the show, but we have our new guest coming up too, JP Pampina. Now I'd like to thank American Standard, our sponsor, Comcast, Roku TV, website updates. Everything is going to be on our disabilitychannel.ca. Check it out.